Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Gemini channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Gemini. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and on my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So we do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes to help you understand why your person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracting that person into your life. Especially, again, we attract our karmic mates, because all soulmates are karmic mates, and those people are the ones that trigger us. And so our emotions are the gateway to spiritual healing. So that's why I really love to do shadow readings. So we do look again at everything, but I like to dive really deep, and it's going to help you see your situation from a different perception. And that's going to allow you to see how you contribute to the imbalances within your connection and what you can do to actually shape shift your reality. And since there's many different realities that play out at one time, you want to be able to quantum jump into the reality that you want to experience, right? And so if you're so caught up in the trigger, you wouldn't see it. All right. Anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box. If you're connected to a Scorpio or Virgo, check out those other card placements there. Again, all links, all important links, such as the YouTube channels and my website, social media, all that stuff is in the description box. All right, let's see what the underlying energy is. The underlining energy is always on the first two cards that I pull out. So the first card that I pull out is detachment. And the second card that I'm going to pull out is nostalgia. So I feel like someone is actually stuck in a place of, like the past, focusing a lot on the past. But the detachment is created because of trauma. I feel like this person is realized that you, again, completely detached, that you disassociated from them. I don't think that they were aware of that. And I feel like it's because they they tend to be the detached one. But when you're not getting anything, you detach. Now, this person is again focusing back on the experiences. You might feel like there wasn't really enough of them. There wasn't, I feel like to you, maybe they weren't as deep, but I feel like to this person, they're deep because they usually live from a place of detachment. So people tend to not detach from them. People get emotional. People want to control. They don't just normally detach. So again, I feel like you triggered a sense of abandonment within this person. So that's the underlying energy, that this person was like stuck focusing on like what has happened. And so let's see if we can get any more insight. Like, what is this person going to do? What type of spiritual connection? What are their blocks? Let's see. Okay. So again, the timing just wasn't right. So this person is trying to say that again at the time, but I feel like they just didn't know what they wanted. But now what it is, it's like now that you're gone, this person, like I said, is seeing that you're detached, and they realize, well, you know what, you did add a lot to my life. And again, I think that they just took you for granted. So again, that they say, I want to feel that way again. Well, that's what people remember. They might not remember what you said, but they remember how they made you feel. And I think that there was a time that you really genuinely loved this person, like this person, for everything that you thought that they were, not necessarily for who they were. And this person couldn't believe it that you like someone like you like them. You might say, no, they have a big ego. This person, again, like is insecure, even though they might have projected that they had, that they were confident. People that are confident don't need to, you know, you don't say, oh, that person has a big big ego. There are people again that are that way, it's because they're insecure. I feel you even though we are apart. So again, ESP through the heart and mind. So again, I don't think that this person thought that they were going to really miss you. I don't think that they knew the type of connection that it was because, like I said, they normally are detached. Someone that doesn't have the emotional connection, here for a good time, not a long time. And so now, what it is now that you're gone and you detached, then they feel the emptiness. And but they still also feel you. So they're like, are you thinking about me? And they knew exactly what they were doing when they did it. And that's because they didn't think that they were going to miss you. They didn't think. And if a person's talking to a lot of people at one time, they don't really realize what people bring to the table until the person actually leaves. And that's what I feel like this person like is establishing, because again, they're someone that's normally detached. And so I just want to look and just pull 3 from this deck, which is, again, storms of love. So almost like you may find that this person like creates a lot of arguments instead of just having a conversation. Almost like feel like this person like likes to like break up to make up. Like there's storms of love. Almost like that conflict gives them an opportunity for to have for the relationship to get deeper. And it's because it's like they have a real hard time of showing emotion and feeling, and they're insecure. So unless you're like showing this person how much you care, which again people tend to not be so over exaggerated. But when a person is, insecure, they need for you to be that way. And so again, this person normally navigates from that lower vibration, meaning they'll be with people that will act like that instead of looking at their character, but then they don't form the emotional connection. Because again, I'm compartmentalizing, I'm utilizing you for one thing, which is that emotional, which is sexual, not this is, even though emotional and sexual is not the same thing, this person would think that it was the same thing. They actually have a spiritual connection to you. They normally are not an emotional person. And it's not because they don't have feelings. I feel like this person's very sensitive. They just learn to navigate their life more from a logical perspective because they don't trust their emotions and their feelings, because they needed to do healing and they never did it. So it was just easier for them not to go deep within relationships. So they weren't planning on falling in love or having a connection with you at all. That's just something that happened after the fact. And what you see is they still don't have the skills to be transparent and to be able to have a conversation without like it being traumatic. And so almost like you're like this person knows that you're going to be uncertain, like whether or not this connection even has the staying power. Like, did they give you enough, to really restore it? Is there enough of a history? Is there enough of remains? Because they know that when they look back that they didn't give enough. And again, they overcompensated. That's that second chakra. Again, to show that, again, I don't care because of actually how much feelings I do have. Because again, I have like, they don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to seem weak. Again, they're not emotionally intelligent. They're someone that, again, logically and analytically navigates their life, but you can't do that in love relationships. And when it comes to like real open heart, to be like, again, transparent, is to create emotional intimacy, which is trust. There's actually a want that this person wants, and is actually saying, well, have I ever done that? They have never done it before. And so it's like this connection is making this person see like things on a deeper level that they wouldn't have seen if you were in their life. But you had to remove yourself. We pull from another deck, which is the next like change. So I feel like what the fall equinox, like you should see big changes within this person's personality. And understand that what they battle with is that they've been grounded all their life. Again, logical, analytical, fact. And it's really hard for them to trust the just spiritual element, which again is that emotional element, which they're not good at and they don't trust themselves. Though they know that it exists, they're not going to deny it because they can obviously feel it, but they can't wrap their head around it enough to like really surrender to it. So because again, that's not the way that they think. That's This person again tends to be very logical, like I said, analytical, and that there are messages being exchanged through music and movies. So I feel like this person, like, they're trying to figure it out. So that just means like they'll turn on the radio and they'll like you may hear a message and or the TV, and it's because they're looking for a sign from the universe, and the universe does have a hand in helping this person heal. Again, using you as a catalyst. So again, this person is psychically, which is part of that, soulmate connection to begin with, is like tapping into that realm, which is not normally the realm that they're in. Like I said, they're normally logical and analytical. And so, again, they feel like you're speaking to them through the music, right? And through, again, the things that they hear. And they know that they have to change. And it triggers them because they're like, how much do you know about me? Like, how do you know about me? When really they know what they have to do in order to be with you. They don't come to you until they're actually at that level. But it's again, do they want to do it? No, they're becoming open to doing it, and that's again subconsciously, and that's through first the signs and symbols, through what's going on in the environment and what they're open to, but they're healing. And the key for them is not to listen to other people. So there might be people in their environment that, like, because this person has a low self-esteem, like they have the power to influence this person, such as their mother or their father, about, what type of relationship they should be in or the type of person that they should date. This person isn't really that strong, but part of healing is becoming stronger. Like I said, I feel like spirit uses of relationships to help us do that. And again, they close their eyes and they imagine that you're here with them. It feels so real. They're beginning to understand what it means to be with you in the 5D, where again, that's just that spiritual realm. And please don't give up on me. I'm trying to change, but it takes time. So I feel like this person is, healing. They're learning how to surrender, but it's not like they said, oh, today I'm going to surrender. They have a connection to you. You disconnected. When you disconnected, it's like you don't know what you got till it's gone. And so this person, like, actually it triggered something, it awakened something inside of them that they weren't really planning on doing. Like, again, being open to, which is a connection, but inevitably what they have to do first before they're actually even in the connection, they actually have to do the healing. See how God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is so sneaky. It's like, oh yeah, you want that love, you want to return to love, because that's really what our relationships help us do, is return to love, whether it's a toxic relationship or whether it's a good relationship. Because either way, we're going to learn how to love ourselves. We're going to learn, again, to really vibrate at a higher love. When we do love ourselves, we get what we want. But either way, everything returns back to love. And so this person, like has to heal. Detachment shows that there is no healing. Again, that this person has not done healing. So again, you know how they were able to manipulate through emotionally manipulating for so long, and here it is, you detached. That like freaked the person out. It was like a wake up call. Again, separate or together, we're working in tandem with each other. So again, this person just feels like your energy. Again, ESP through the heart and mind. They can feel when you're mad. They can feel when you're happy. It's again, that's what they feel. They miss you. They want to stop running away. They don't want you to run away from them anymore. They don't want to be in separation anymore. This is uncomfortable for them because healing doesn't feel good. It's like inevitably they would be so much easier if they could detach. They can't. And the fact that you detached and their normal mechanism is to detach, like this is pure torture for this person. And that's what you don't realize. It's almost like you're their kryptonite, you know, where they can't, that I can't do anything. I can't do anything. And really, it's again, they can feel that one of us is sad or angry and is creating an energetic match in frequency with the other. So again, like you may be mad, you may you may not even feel that way. Understand that. Like this person could be imagining that you're mad because they know that they didn't treat you right. But let's just say you are mad. Well, then this person is mad, but they're mad more out of the anxiety and more mad at themselves. And so again, that energy, they can feel it and it triggers their spiritual blockages. And maybe again, you are thinking certain things, and this person is thinking certain things. And so when you have that connection, there's that clear cognizance, which is I don't know how I know, but I know and I can feel it. The clear sentience is going on. Union is a separate energy, but not a physical construct. Even when we aren't together, I feel our union. That's how many times does it said it? It said it like 3 different ways that, okay, we get it. That it's almost like this person has never had that before. It's like normally they don't care. They can detach from the energy. What they keep saying is, I can't detach from the energy. So it's almost like this person I feel like almost like the Wicked Witch from the West. I'm melting, like almost like they can't take it, you know? They can't take the emotional because it's like they don't know what to do with it. It's overwhelming. Again, this person is waiting for divine timing. You know, it's again, they feel like time is healing their wounds and creating the perfect conditions for reunion. So again, this sounds like very twin flamey right around now. So again, where this person may just be waiting for the right time where you're going to be busy and not 100% depends on how secure they are, meaning 100% like are you happy, did something good happen in your life? I feel like this person's insecure. It's like and they're a little afraid to come back. Again, when our conversations are lighthearted and playful, it eases the tension that is sometimes there when we talk. And that's because this person doesn't act right. So it's frustrating when a person feels right, but then they don't act right. It's like, because it's almost like, are you doing this on purpose? It's like, because it triggers you where that's not, it's like, I feel like this person gets nervous and they when they get nervous what happens is that they just get conflicted about whether they have what it takes to be your partner because again it brings out their insecurity because hey listen you hold to a standard you are not just going to let them like come in and do whatever they want when they want how they want so it all comes back to that which is I'm inadequate. I'm not good enough. I'm not, which understand no one can make you feel that way. People will feel that way if they feel inadequate, you know? And so if you hold to a standard, that's what this person will feel, you know, and it brings out their other spiritual blocks. And so, you know, they don't feel deserving and it's affecting their levels of to really even be in the relationship because it's like they don't know whether, again, they don't know whether they have what it takes. They don't know whether they're, again, deserving of it. So if they were in a relationship before, and that was, they were told that they weren't good enough, that they, then this person believes that about themselves. So it's almost like, um, if they don't heal, then they would expect you to actually help them heal. So understand, it's very important to like be in a relationship with someone that is on the same energy vibration that you are. And right now, what we see is a lot of I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. No one knows. That people fake it till they make it. The difference within confidence is that I'm going to fake it until I make it. I don't know what it looks like. But this person stays in a place of victimization. Like, I don't have to show up because I don't really know what it takes. No, what it is you don't know whether or not you want to do what it takes to be in a connection with me. So again, that victimization, and again wanting to come in, that maybe when you're busy, and saying that it's divine timing, and that's why I felt that like I don't really have to come in correct, as much correct. And again, that's when a person doesn't feel worthy, they don't put in the effort that they should. It's like, well, I'm going to protect my heart because I feel like you're going to reject me. But that's what you're creating. You're creating that self-fulfilling prophecy. And that's why it would be impossible to be in a relationship with someone that does that. They can't communicate. They start arguments to communicate. Oh, it's triggered. It's again when this person lets themselves go deeper into thought, they can feel their heart opening, but when they allow themselves. And so that's the key. And so again, this person daydreams about you a lot. Sometimes it's sexual, and other times they visualize their future together. But the problem with that is that that's the imagination. They're not taking the time to get to know you. Intimacy is created by trust, and trust is acquired over time. And that's how much they show up for you and how interactive you are in a relationship. So, this person, of course, has a lot of sexual energy towards you. But again, the daydreaming and not really being as present and as interactive with you because they don't really believe that they're worthy. So again, the spiritual energy is strong, but you're going to see a lack within the physical realm. And that's what we see because they're not really doing anything, right? And so again, don't judge this, just surrender. They know, again, they it's triggering for them. But from a higher perspective, as they surrender, they really are letting go of clearing negative energy. And so you have to understand what is happening on a spiritual level, because you're like, nothing is happening on a spiritual level. Well, this person is being forced to surrender. They're just utilizing the universe, just utilizing you as a catalyst to help them to do that. The universe doesn't care whether you're together or not. It only cares whether or not you revert your energy back to your original energy of unconditional love. And again, we have free will. There's many different realities that play out depending on what we do. So any which way we're going to learn. But in this situation, this person is not creating that emotional like intimacy. And the thing is because they were detached. But now that you detached, they're again stuck in this spiritual realm of fantasizing what life would be like, but again, not doing what it takes to actually make the relationship work. Because again, I don't think that I'm deserving. So again, it doesn't matter the reason, but because you, at the end of the day, you wouldn't get what you wanted. So again, surrender brings us together faster than resistance. We already got that one. So this person, like again, they resist the process. So there's someone that would want to really control, very, very controlling. That again is that second chakra that's out of balance, where again, this person isn't strong within themselves. So they couldn't possibly be strong within the relationship. When we say, okay, are they going to do anything? We don't see anything that they're doing. We don't see anything that they're doing except for fantasizing. I want to hold you in my arms and feel our bodies unite. I think we pulled that one before too. Again, there's a lot of sexual energy, which understand the universe will use that connection to help get the person to move. That's why it's karmic, because it depends on what you do. Remember, so in this situation, this is why things are playing out the way that they are. This person needs to surrender. They want to surrender. They don't know how to surrender. They're afraid to surrender. They're battling their inner demons. They're battling the universe, because inevitably what happens is they will eventually surrender to love. Whether or not you want to be with them or not doesn't matter. Again, because if this person takes forever, you probably will be like, well, screw it, I'm not going to be with you. But you leave them in a better energy than what you found them is the whole point. Again, but in the meantime, this person is they're kind of just they're being triggered, and old patterns are surfacing, and it hurts again. So that's the I'm not deserving, I'm not good enough, I don't have. So they're real beliefs about why this person doesn't want to really put the energy to move forward. You may say, oh, come on. If you liked me enough, you do it. Well, it depends on what has happened in this person's life and their relationship ish like department, and what I feel like it wasn't good, because people don't just feel like they're not deserving. It's they've lived an experience, a few experiences that told them that. And the problem with that is not that they're wounded, it's the behaviorisms that come from this when they're wounded, which would hurt you, which inevitably, like being with a person like this, yeah, like there's a strong connection, and that strong connection is really for healing. It is to integrate the spiritual lesson. So again, this person is a karmic mate that feels like a twin flame, like almost like if you both stepped it up into the best energy, which you have free will to do so, you would be the twin flame. But again, while this person is battling themselves, I won't give them that title of twin flame. But again, the divine union of for healing, that the universe brought you together to heal. And then again, that it's a hard climb. It's again there because there's a lot of healing that needs to be done. And it's because this person said we're done healing. And again, they have issues with, difficult conversations, and so they'd have to be truthful. They have to create vulnerability. And this is where, again, right out of the gate, they have an issue with. Even though that this is a strong connection. And so it winds up being like more of an entanglement, because you're not allowed to communicate. You're not allowed to have boundaries. You're not allowed to, this is codependency, really bad codependency, because a person doesn't feel they're good enough. So again, that would be the best that they'd be able to do. They wouldn't be able to emotionally show up for you. Again, too much fear, obligation, guilt from the past. So, and eventually, like, you just wouldn't be satisfied, is what spirit says. But will you have the opportunity? Eventually, like, this person is going to surrender their ego, but we can see why you wouldn't want to be with them. Now, again, because I always tell you, again, what can happen, but you have free will. But this is the healing channel. So we have to say, well, why would you attract a person into your life that's not strong? That, like they want to keep it in more in the fantasy realm. So you always feel that energetic connection, but you're like, okay, but where are they in the physical realm? Like, who wants to be in a relationship in your head? It's like, that's not a real relationship. That's one that when they would actually be with you, they would actually think that the imagined version of you that they created in their head is you, and treat you from that level. And that's what's bad. because, that's not perfect in their mind. When people do that, they think a person is perfect. And then it's what they perceive. And so again, they admire you and and there's a sense of them not admiring themselves. And then when they actually get into the relationship, they see you're not perfect because no one's perfect. And so then it's almost like this person like had expectations and whatever. And that's why the emotional connection is really important. And if a person doesn't feel strong about themselves, then they're going to be too afraid to let you in. And so we have to say again, why did you attract this person into your life? And the card number 1, self-sabotage. We look at the inner child wounds to see what are the karmic themes that seem to play out within your life. And so self-sabotage could be, again, always standing up for, maybe always showing loyalty to people that really aren't loyal. But you learn that, like, again, to always be loyal to your friends, always be loyal, but to be loyal to a fault, to a person that doesn't love themselves, they're going to take you down with them. So that would be a self-sabotaging behavior. And if we were taught to, again, be so self-sacrificing, to be so loyal, if we grew up in an alcoholic family, if we grew up in a toxic family, again, we're going to put up more with more because that's my mother, that's my father, that's my sister, that's we're family. And even if we're not family, if we're friends, I may know that you're batshit crazy, but I'm going to be right behind you being like, yeah, and the consequences are going to come back to me. But that's what I was taught, understand it's still self-sabotaging behavior because you have to think about yourself. Spirit says, I live inside of you, each and every person. So each and every person needs to honor themselves, love themselves. So again, when we do for others, when we haven't done for ourselves, then we're the wounded healer, and you don't want that. Because again, that's a sign that you, again, feel unworthy. Why would you give to somebody that's wounded that couldn't give back to you? It's almost like, well, I was, conditioned, because no one walks around saying I'm unworthy. They were conditioned in an environment where they were shown that they weren't worthy. Oh, that's like, we're going to overlook the kids. We don't have that for the kids. We don't have, again, almost like you aren't people. It's again, but that made you feel unworthy, made you feel not good enough. And it's the emotion that you embodied, which is that energetic template, which is what gets activated when we have a past life karmic mate that comes in to our life and they make us feel a certain way. Understand, if you got into a relationship with this person, that would be self-sabotaging, because what you know is that they haven't given to the relationship. They are not emotionally available. And so again, that's codependency. And so what happens to your life? Because understand, if you feel unworthy, you were taught to overgive, overdo for love. That love is conditional, and love is not conditional. God says love is unconditional. It's unconditional. It's ubiquitous. It's everywhere and everything. It's, again, there is no boundary. There is no time. There is no space. There is no gender. It just is. Whatever way you want to look at it, it just is. So you could be like, I don't like that person, but it just is. That person pisses me off, but I know that they are. It's, again, so that's kind of like what a soulmate kind of feels like. But when it's a past life karmic mate, it's like, I recognize you because you're, again, showing me something within inside of myself. And again, where you felt unworthy, and people that feel unworthy, they overgive because everyone wants love. Because you weren't allowed to be vulnerable. You weren't allowed to show that you had emotions. You weren't allowed to actually want that in return. And so again, I could have grown up with a parent that didn't know how to be emotionally intelligent. And if you showed any type of emotion, well, that was very uncomfortable for them. So you were taught to shut that down, Don't be so sensitive. And again, there was abuse, and I think that could be psychological or emotional. It doesn't need to be physical abuse. And this card is physical abuse because the kid's banged up, but it doesn't need to be. It could be, again, psychological. Like I grew up in an environment where, again, I was taught I was unworthy, I was not good enough. It's psychological and emotional. Conditioned in an environment, when you are conditioned in an environment to believe that, again, you're going to overgive, you're not going to value yourself, you're not going to pour into yourself, you're not going to love yourself. God says the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. You got to love yourself. You got to really love yourself first. Because again, people, and not just the people, the world will tell you who you are if you don't know who you are. So you have to love yourself. And that means finding yourself a lot of times. That's not coming from the place of abuse, where, again, you were taught that you are unworthy. So going in very imbalanced into a relationship, you're going to overgive, overdo, overlove, over to kind of prove yourself. But what you're unconsciously doing is you're telling that person not to respect you, that you don't respect you. Because as the CEO of a corporation or any CEO of your life, it means how much time, energy, focus, and money you're pouring into yourself. And here it is, you're pouring into this person. So what you're telling them is, you're so valuable, but I'm not. You don't have to pay attention to me. Where you're pouring into yourself, you're teaching a person, I love myself, I respect myself. When you're interactive in your life, you're teaching them, I have other people that I interact with that emotionally I don't need you. When you're like that, you're commanding that present, you're commanding respect. Where Spirit's saying, where here it was like, you just were like, I just want to treat this person nicely. Because I want to treat them the way I wanted to be treated. And Spirit says, but you weren't ever treated nice. So it's like a starving person that all of a sudden wins the lotto and decides to invite people over for dinner and decides that the dinner should have a 15-course meal because they knew what it was like to be starving. It's like they're going to overgive, overdo, overgive, overdo, and then it isn't appreciated because it's just taken for granted. Where Spirit says that's, again, like you let this person take you for granted. It's, again, because you're the CEO of your life. And you have to, again, when you're emotionally fulfilling your life through becoming who you want to become in life and connecting to other people that are like-minded through your hobbies and your interests and finding other passions and traveling the world and wondering and finding the wonders in the world and finding the wonders within you by having a love affair with you. It's, again, you're going to meet all different types of people. And so unless a person came into your life and really gave something, you wouldn't have been bothered. You'd be like, well, for those breadcrumbs, I'm not, it's not really enough. Or you're not really 100% clear. You're hinting around. So I'm filling in the spaces for you and you're letting me do it. But then you turn around and tell me that I'm the one that's controlling the relationship when really what I saw is you weren't really never really a participant. It's what I wanted. It's like, and you were like, yeah, I want it, but you weren't as much as invested. And why was I that invested? In Spirit says, because again, the passion, the emotional, you wanted to give because you wanted it. Again, that this person didn't earn it. Where you need to listen to your own soul's calling, and that's listen to the whispers of your soul. And I would say that's by becoming yourself, and again, connecting to like-minded people through your hobbies, interests, passions, to embody that energy of love. And you can do that. And when you do that, like I said, is going to connect you to different people and situations. So if a person's not giving you enough and they see that you're doing it, they know Again, this is my standard. You're showing them. You teach a person how you want to be treated, never by telling them. Keep your mouth shut. Just show them. It's again because respect comes from that. You command it, and not rudely, just unapologetically. I don't need to ask for greatness. It's my birthright. I don't need to, like, you know, ask you for permission to make me happy. If you're going to come into my life and make me happy, then great. But otherwise, I can do that myself. And I'm going to be over there doing it. You may have to command it. And so Spirit says, acknowledge already what you have already overcome in life, that you're already a strong person. Walk that way. Walk like, oh, I've been around the block a few times. I'm pretty strong. I'm strong within myself. I pretty much know who I am by now. And then the Spirit says, and then express what you need. Again, the Spirit says, speak with courage and, fiercely, but I feel like it's so to set boundaries. And again, to create your life, to connect with people, a lot of times we want to create a life and we don't really know. Well, first it is investing in ourselves, and then it's to ask. It's again you have to heal. And the way that we heal is to embody the consciousness that we need to heal. So if you grew up in an environment where, hey, you didn't really feel loved, you didn't feel, well, you didn't just get there. The environment did, but what's in alignment with that? Well, maybe not being as transparent, maybe not feeling comfortable to ask for what you need, maybe not feeling like you have support. Where Spirit says, well, understand it's time to take bold action, take steps that push you out of your comfort zone, because that's where real change happens. You get to see yourself differently. Because you meet different people, you experience different things, and that allows you to see who you are today, not through the wounds of the past. So Spirit says, just do something. Like, again, you can't heal in the same place that you got sick, is what Spirit says. It's again, and you rise above, where you elevate your perspective by you seeing everything through a spiritual lens. This way you're not taking anything personal. Spirit says we don't take anything personal. We realize that Earth is a school, that we get our tests first and our lessons later. So again, we're all learning, we're all evolving, and really, again, what you had to learn here is obviously if you had unworthiness, Spirit says you're anything but unworthy. Look how strong you are. Rise above. See things with a different perception. It's again, that's what healing is. Take a step out of your comfort zone, go into a different area, be around different people. It's like, see yourself differently. It's again, you still are again seeing an old version that wasn't even your version. It was something that somebody put on to you, made you feel that way. It's like, in order to integrate all facets of yourself, it just means, again, you had detachment. And detachment because, hey, this person getting together with them would create a lot of trauma. Because it's like, again, their way is to create an emotional trigger within you so that you react, so that you would form an emotional connection, because that's what normally happens when they breadcrumb, and the people, again, they just keep giving more, keep giving more, keep giving more before, again, they don't have to do anything. Here, you detached. So they were never expecting that. And that, again, woke into a lot of wounds. It's almost like what this person did triggered you to, like, again, heal, and vice versa, where this person, again, after what they saw, they lost you. So having the karma is part of their healing. And Spirit says, and also understand it's about releasing control. That second chakra, don't control anything. We control ourselves. We become ourselves. We can go with the flow of life when we're in the passion for life. When difficult times arrive, our focus is still on our passions and our hobbies and our interests and where we want to go. It doesn't mean the hard things don't happen. However, when they happen, we see is we wind up having support because we've been interactive in life. And part of that support is getting divine guidance from not being so close up to the picture and worrying about what may happen. Because we're in life, we're creating life. So again, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. You wind up getting everything that you need. You wind up co creating with the universe where if at one time you weren't supported growing up, well, guess what? You see the universe give you support. If you didn't feel loved, well, guess what? You get experiences that give you that love. That's again because we wouldn't be able to go back in time. However, the universe again makes sure that we get to embody that new consciousness to which really is what erases that emotional template, because it's that emotional template that is what makes us a magnet for who and what comes into our life. It's subconscious. We don't realize that we're holding on to that emotion and what it feels like. However, if you stand next to a person that is so sad or so angry, like, you can feel their energy. Well, on a subconscious level, we are all radiating out energy. And that energy, like I said, works like a magnet. So integrating the spiritual lesson of feeling unworthy and what happens when we feel not good enough is self-sabotaging behavior because we again abandon ourselves. Spirit says the healing antidote then is not to abandon oneself, to become the energy of love by becoming love. And if you don't know what that is, you need to just go out and be like childlike. Go out and find it. Let your spirit guide you by trying different things. And you need to do that because once you find it, then invest in it. And that means donate energy, time, energy, focus, money. Again, by becoming it, again, those things that you feed will make a way out of no way that opens up a life, a whole new life where you get to see who you are. And you're not coming from the wounds of the past. And the spirit leads off with return to the heart. They couldn't have gotten a better card. And again, it's about all coming back to, again, love, where it's breathe light and stick to the essentials for your soul, be in the present moment, because only in the now do you get divine guidance. Calm your thoughts, focus on your heart, and find space to be where your light and greatness are. Find peace and inner balance. So again, I find that you find that your greatness comes from, again, becoming yourself. It's again, every master starts off as a disaster. You don't have to even be good at what it is that you love. You have to, again, show up every day and put energy ground, because what Spirit's saying is you don't even know who you are. And that's again because it's a grounding thing. And when we ground something, we're actually embodying it. And that erases that emotional template, which will change your energy vibration. That's why you were told to go into the unknown, release control again, and that you'll integrate those blockages. So it's a faith walk right now, but when you do those things, you will see. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I'll be on again, possibly later, but most likely again tomorrow. All right. Love you guys. Talk soon. Bye-bye.